Kiss fans. VH1 presents Kiss, the Farewell Tour. Thanks to VH1 and Ticketmaster, you can get tickets before they go on sale exclusively at VH1.com. New dates have just been added, so log on now for details. Kiss, the Farewell Tour.
Like all art, music is subjective. One person's song is another person's smut. But because of the First Amendment, musicians have a right to free expression, and their critics have a right to express their disapproval. But that 200-year-old concept was put to the test with this album.
I don't think any other musician in this century has had this kind of effect on the law that Luther Campbell had.
I was this young guy, wanted to make music, just wanted to be in the music business.
Luther Campbell, a.k.a. Luke, was the leader of the Miami-based rap group 2 Live Crew.
Next thing you know, I'm the big freedom fighter, the #1, First Amendment. Here we go.
The controversy started when 2 Live Crew released As Nasty as They Wanna Be in 1989. The album was loaded with X-rated lyrics.
Saying the word horny at the time was not acceptable, like it may be now. It was like yelling fire in a mall.
To Luke, the words were a joke, but one Florida man didn't find them funny, and he sent copies of the lyrics to all 67 sheriffs in the state. Only one took action.
I know pornography when I see it, and I know what obscenity is when I hear it.
Nick Navarro was the sheriff of Broward County.
Did I take offense personally? No. No, I have a very broad mind, but break the law and I'd be on your back.
So Navarro sent the lyrics to a local judge, who found that there was probable cause for the album to be considered obscene. But that didn't mean it was obscene. That's something it takes a trial to determine. Nevertheless, Navarro dispatched deputies to local record stores. They warned clerks about selling obscene material. As Nasty as They Wanna Be came off the shelves.
The day that they took the music off the shelf, I know at that point I had to get a lawyer. They were coming after me.
I'd never heard of 2 Live Crew.
Attorney Bruce Rogo is a First Amendment scholar.
He brought me the words, and I saw they were kind of rough. In fact, my wife was very unhappy with me representing him. She thought the words were highly offensive, that they were very hostile towards women.
The things that they say that they would do to the anatomy of a female. I mean, this is sacrilegious.
Offensive or not, the album shouldn't have been taken off the shelves. After all, it wasn't legally obscene. So Rogo and Campbell sued Navarro for taking the law into his own hands.
I decided that we would file suit first instead of waiting for somebody to arrest Luke or arrest the record.
Weeks later, the two sides faced off in federal court. There was no jury. The decision was up to a judge, Judge Jose Gonzalez. For Campbell and Rogo, it seemed like an open and shut case. Never has an album or song been found obscene in a federal court of law.
Of course, I knew under the First Amendment you have to take a look at the work as a whole. It's not just the words, it's the words and the music.
That's one part of the legal standard to determine obscenity. Another is whether similar material is already acceptable in the community in question.
Bruce says, Judge, right down the street from the police department, there's a adult bookstore.
We had bought all of these magazines and videotapes. I mean, stuff that was way beyond the words in the record. And here we are in federal court with the judge wearing his robe, and we're playing this videotape of women masturbating to show that in this community, that was saleable and not obscene.
I mean, right there, case is dead in the water.
On June 6, 1990, Judge Gonzalez handed down his decision.
It was packed in this courtroom.
I'm sitting there saying, okay, we got this here.
I had no fear that the case was going to be thrown out by the judge.
I just knew we had won that.
When he locked the doors and passed out copies of the 60-page opinion.
There's no way we could lose this.
And I leafed through it. I went to the end right away, because that's where the result is.
We won. Bruce was like, nah, we lost.
Much to my amazement, the judge ruled in my favor.
How could we lose?
According to Judge Gonzalez, As Nasty as They Wanna Be was, quote, an appeal to dirty thoughts in the loins, not to the intellect and the mind.
This was the only case in my life, really, that was stolen from me.
It was a fight. It became an all-out brawl at that moment.
I was watching him as he was being interviewed, and he was waving the judge's court order, and he threw it on the floor and stepped on it, and he said, "This is garbage. This is nothing but toilet paper, and I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing." I thought to myself, we're in for rough times.
4 days later, Nick Navarro and his deputies arrested record store owner Charles Freeman for selling as nasty as they want to be.
You know, my first thought was, you know, I see what's going on here. They don't want white kids to buy this music here. Then I said, oh, this is racially motivated. They're just trying to shut rap down.
Wrong, Buster. I could care less what the color of your skin is, where you came from, what you believe in, or what you are going to do. Break the law, your behind goes to jail. That's it. As simple as that.
That weekend, 2 Live Crew was scheduled to play a gig for fans 21 and over at Club Futura in Broward County. Luke went on with the show.
I knew we was going to jail that night.
Here are these cops at Club Futura, and they're wearing white shirts, and they've got little tape recorders.
They had the pocket dictate machine
with the little lights on that you could see through the pockets of their shirt.
I'm like, all right, you know y'all put me in jail tonight. I'm ready to go.
After the show, Luke and bandmate Chris Wangwan left the club. A couple of miles down the road, deputies pulled them over.
Come on over here.
And put them under arrest. The charge, obscenity.
And all that does is give it more and more publicity.
Bruce said, don't worry about it.
And I said, people will crawl over cut glass to get that which the government says they can't have.
And that's what happened. The federal judge, he threw me right into the f***ing prime time.
After the obscenity decision and arrest, 2 Live Crew went from selling a few 100,000 albums to selling millions.
We won't be banned in the USA.
By late summer 1990, the band's X-rated lyrics had sparked a national debate, and the backlash against Luke mushroomed.
It was coming out of Texas, it was coming out of Alabama, it was coming out of Miami, it was coming from all across the country. We couldn't go into concert halls, we couldn't go into cities and do concerts. I had quite a few endorsement deals before that. Couldn't get no endorsement deals. All of a sudden, I was considered as the Antichrist, and I didn't know what was going on.
1 week before Luke and his 2 bandmates went on trial, record store owner Charles Freeman was convicted of selling obscene material. It was another strike against 2 Live Crew.
Court is in session. Please be seated.
The prosecution led off its case against 2 Live Crew with its key evidence. Those undercover recordings from Club Futura.
The background music that you're hearing is, the words are, throw that D. Throw that D, basically.
Do you know what that refers to?
The male penis. Continue, please.
The whole thing was a joke. The kind of recording they did was fourth rate.
What Mr. Campbell is saying is, drop your drawers. Drop your drawers.
For his case, Rogo went with the testimony of expert witnesses.
No other rap group has managed to engage in such direct parody of the sexual stereotypes of black men and black women.
I was sitting there listening to how that representation was made, and to be honest with you, I took offense to it. The Afro-American community is composed of God-fearing people, and for them to try to represent it as being part of what the 2 Live Crew was trying to do, they would take extreme offense.
If you're so concerned about anybody's culture, why just be concerned about black culture? Why not be concerned about white culture? When you go to the store, Andrew Dice Clay is sitting right here. Luke is sitting here. What's the difference?
After 4 days of testimony and 2 hours of deliberations, the jury reached its verdict.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Luther Campbell, not guilty.
I could have jumped up on the table and just, kissed everybody in the jury. That was the most relieved moment in my life.
The verdict cleared 2 Live Crew's performance. 1 year later, a federal appeals court overturned the obscenity ruling against the album. As Nasty as They Wanna Be was put back on the shelves in South Florida. As for Nick Navarro, he lost his post as sheriff in the next election. 9 years later, he's written a book about his life as a Cuban cop. In one chapter, he rehashes the conflict with Campbell and reignites the controversy over Two Live Crew's lyrics.
It's called Me So Horny.
9 years later, Mr. Navarro has the words of Me So Horny written in his book.
So let those who read it be the judge. Girls always ask me why I so much.
And it's the same words.
I say, what's wrong, baby doll? With a quick nod.
And that's what he was prosecuting me for.
I am like a dog in heat. I freak without warning.
Now it's acceptable because Nick has it in his book.
I have an appetite for sex.
I wonder how he'll feel if the new sheriff in Broward County take this book off the shelf.
News me so horny.
Nick, but you got in your book here. Why somebody don't lock you up?
That book is not obscene anymore because the appellate court caved in and said to Judge Gonzalez, you were wrong. This is not obscene.
Now it's not obscene. Now, because he's profiting from it, it's not obscene.
This is not obscene, I'm sorry.
Interesting. That's wild.
Luther Campbell and the members of Two Live Crew have since gone their separate ways. But Campbell is still making music and still dealing with the fallout from the fight of his life.
You know, right now today, because of me going out there fighting, I got a scar on me for the rest of my life. People say, you the guy had an obscene record. They be like, nah, we can't have him in this building. I don't know how many millions of dollars I lost because of this.
I knew it was a big case, but did I think it would have these kind of legs? I didn't see it that way, mostly because I thought it was so dumb to begin with. To me, it was a no-brainer. You don't do this. And instead, these people fell into it.
Whatever came out of it is okay with me. My conscience was clear, and I would do it again and again and again if I am so ordered by the courts under the same circumstances.
I'll go fight their ass again tomorrow. If I put an album out tomorrow and they say that there's a problem, I'll fight them.
Two Live Crew also put out a more wholesome version of As Nasty as They Want to Be. It was called As Clean as They Want to Be. It sold only 250,000 copies, compared to Nasty's 2.5 million. Ahead on Rock Story, hear what the government feared was on this record.
It was embarrassing. It really was.
The people who brought you VH1 Divas 98 and VH1 Divas 99 now proudly present VH1 Divas 2000. Tuesday, April 11th, Mariah Carey, Donna Summer, Faith Hill, and more share the stage with the ultimate diva, Diana Ross. VH1 Divas 2000, a tribute to Diana Ross. One stage, one concert, one night, a whole bunch of divas. Tuesday, April 11th at 9, only on VH1. Sponsored by Neutrogena Pore Refining Cream and Cleanser.
Your face has over 20,000 pores. Make them look smaller, your skin smoother, more even with new Neutrogena Pore Refining Cream. The daily moisturizer with retinol and alpha hydroxy. Neutrogena Pore Refining Cream. This was worth waiting for.